A lot has happened since we last left off with Jessica Jones in season 1. A whole other show called The Defenders happened, and fans have been dying to return to her solo series to see how her own story will progress. Now, of course, like any other MCU film or show, there's a ton of Easter eggs in this season. Obviously, major spoiler alert here, but not like major spoilers, just like some spoilers. If you've already binged the show, safely proceed. And let's see how many of these Easter eggs you caught while watching. Also, worth considering that this is an incomplete list. The show just dropped, and we're still working our way through the latter half of the season, as should you. It was literally released today. Unless you're watching this in the future, then hi. In at number 10, the Ringmaster. A few lesser-known Marvel characters have popped up this season in Jessica Jones, some of which are a bit of a surprise considering they are characters that you would never imagine would ever be adapted. That being said, they don't necessarily draw attention to their comic personas, like the one in this number. First mentioned in episode 1 and later appearing in the season, Maynard Tybalt, aka the Ringmaster, makes his debut in the show as a hypnotherapist that Trish refers Jessica to. In the comics, Ringmaster uses hypnotic mind control via the device on his hat, and the mantle has been worn by two characters. The first, Fritz, was a Nazi agent, and the second, Maynard, was his son. And at number 9, Trish's outfit. In episode 1, we're reacquainted with some of our favorite supporting cast members, including Trish. During a scene where she reassures Jessica that she hasn't mentioned her or any of the other Defenders by name on her talk show, she's wearing an outfit that some of you may find incredibly familiar.
Reaching out, it's Patsy, I really wanna be a friend.
It's a throwback to her outfits from the days in her Patsy Walker comic, the romantic Archie-esque teen-driven series that she starred in before her days of being Hellcat. And at number 8, poster. Speaking of Trish, there's another little Easter egg in the form of a Patsy Walker poster in episode 2. What's so special about it? Well, those of you who were familiar with the character in the comics may recognize the logo on the poster. It's the OG Patsy logo from the comics, from the days where she was more of a teen idol than superhero. How's that for smart set deck? And at number 7, gifted. There's a lot of little dialogue references in this season, especially ones that are referencing other Marvel fan favorites, including the X-Men, which has only recently been reacquired by Marvel and Disney from Fox, meaning soon we'll likely be seeing our favorites from Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters popping up. In the meantime, in episode 4, Jessica makes a reference to the X-Men when she says, "We prefer gifted," when referring to superpowered individuals. Whether or not this reference actually pertains to the X-Men's inevitable involvement in the MCU is unknown, but it sure does make us hopeful for what will come. And at number 6, Game of Thrones. In episode 2, aka Freak Accident, Jessica pays a visit to Josie's, a nice touch that further interlinks the Netflix Marvel shows. Now, if you pay close attention to the set dressing in the bar, you'll notice that there's a pinball machine from another famous television series, an HBO series. A little show called Game of Thrones. This isn't the first Game of Thrones Easter egg in one of the Netflix Marvel shows. There's a reference to Syrio Forel, Arya Stark's dancing instructor, in The Defenders, when Colleen saves Matt Murdock in episode 7 and says, "Not today." Forel is famous for saying this line in Game of Thrones season 1.
There is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
And at number 5, Dr. KARL MALUS. Jumping back to Marvel characters being introduced into the MCU, episode 5 of the season is the debut of a character named Dr. KARL, who is none other than Dr. KARL MALUS from the comics. It's revealed that MALUS performs his experiments on subjects who are not able to consent, and is in a romantic but very much controlled relationship with Jessica's mother. The show only touches on the kinds of evil he's capable of. Once again, the show takes a villain and makes them more of a nuanced character exploring the themes of assault and harassment. In the comics, he first appears in Spider-Woman number 30 back in 1980, and is your typical nefarious mad scientist. He mutated and transformed many a character in the Marvel Universe. In addition to this, when he becomes a member of the Frightful Four, he's forcibly made the new Carnage symbiote, and is eaten by Carnage. He later returns, claiming he put himself back together when he was deposited as waste, and now is a human symbiote hybrid. And at number 4, Spider-Man. So there's a few Spider-Man references in this season. First off, the WHIZZER, a character that we'll be talking about a little bit later on in this list, says the line, "With great power comes great mental illness." The second reference comes in another hilarious joke in passing dialogue. Another new character, Griffin, tells Jessica that he has a suspicion that Trish is in danger because his balls are tingling.
My balls are tingling.
There's medication for that.
To which Jessica replies,
Because of your scroty sense.
God damn right.
In addition to that, another reference is made in the season finale when Jessica is being advised by her superpowered mother, to which Jessica responds, "If you say great power comes with great responsibility, I swear I'll throw up on you." The original responsibility phrase comes from Amazing Fantasy number 15 back in 1962. It occurs in action boxes while Peter Parker copes with the death of Uncle Ben. And at number 3, Infinity War. One of the cooler aspects of the first season of Jessica Jones was the exploration of how the events from the Avengers films have massively affected people from all walks of life, including those in Hell's Kitchen that Jessica encounters. While in Season 1 it led to a bit more of a dire situation, Season 2 makes a lighter reference to the events of the larger MCU films, including Captain America's now missing shield. Jessica encounters a boy with a Cap action figure. The boy asks her if she knows him, and says that his action figure has lost his shield, just like the real Captain America, but he made a new one using magnets. So some people have seen this as possibly being a reference to the way that Cap used a magnet device on his glove back in the 60s comics, and that this may be a small hint to a detail that may be included in the Infinity War film. Up next, number 2, the WHIZZER. A new character introduced this season is Robert Coleman, who first arrives on the scene as a potential PI client for Jessica and Malcolm.
Someone's trying to kill me because I have powers.
He claims to have speedster powers and calls himself the WHIZZER.
The kids in school used to call me the WHIZZER.
I bet they did. Why don't you take a lap around the block, I'll time you.
Now, the WHIZZER is actually an older Marvel character, back from when Marvel was Timely Comics. During World War II, he fought alongside Captain America, and had a pretty absurd backstory. He got his powers from a blood transfusion from a mongoose in order to combat a cobra bite, because mongooses are fast. The character's civilian alias was actually a man named Robert Frank, as opposed to Robert Coleman. In the show, Coleman's outfits also reference the WHIZZER's olden days. He wears a yellow hoodie, the same color as the original WHIZZER's costume. And finally, in our number 1 spot, Mongoose. Another nice touch to the inclusion of the WHIZZER is that this version of the character in the show still has an attachment to mongooses, and Jessica definitely doesn't let that absurd fact go. While his origins do differ, thankfully, Robert Coleman does have a pet mongoose, which makes an appearance in a photograph that Jessica spots while searching his apartment. Her response?
Goddamn mongoose.
What's even better is that its name is Emil, which just so happens to be the name of the father of Robert Frank, the man who did the blood transfusion, Dr. Emil Frank. Which of these Easter eggs had you the most jazzed? Are there ones that you've spotted that we didn't include on this list? And should we do a part 2? Let us know all of your thoughts and feels in those comments below. And as always, if you dug this video, please show some love and hit those like and subscribe buttons. We've also got a ton of other awesome videos about the MCU on our channel, so be sure to check it out, and the ones in our playlist flashing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody. I've been Kelly Pally, and this has been Top 10 Nerd. Catch you all in the next one.